Wow. Okay, this is our second video of analyzing Beckett's waiting for Godot. In the previous video, we explained the first appearance of both and Lucky, in which we said that the relationship between Estrogen and Vladimir is totally different from the relationship between, you know, Pozzo and Lucky. The relationship is a master-slave relationship, a relationship that is not based on respect and deference. No, it is an antithetical relationship that is not equal. However, the relationship between Vladimir and Sergei is based on respect and deference and mutual respect, we can say, and interdependence. They depend on each other. However, in this video, I'm going to analyze Lucky's parody, or Lucky's tirade, or Lucky's speech, or Lucky's loud thinking. Okay, so Lucky is going to think loudly to the point that we can hear him. The tramps, Eskin and Vladimir, are going to hear him too. So let's know what is Lucky or Lucky's speech about. Okay, um, is it nonsensical, speech or words? You know, does his speech have something important or not, or it is just absurd as the play itself? Well, sorry. Well, the critics indeed have divided the speech of Lucky into three parts, though it is difficult to trace the words and the meaning of the words and the understandability of the lines and the speech of Lucky. Okay, so Lucky, sorry, um, they divided the parody or the tirade into three parts. Okay, in order to make it easier and more understandable. Um, yeah, we said that in the previous lecture, Lucky taught Pozzo everything, taught Pozzo how to think, how to feel, okay, how to see things, how to recognize beautiful things from ugly things, etc. So Lucky is a kind of a philosopher, a kind of a scholar or a poet. Okay, so we'll see that the things that Lucky is talking about is are very important and related to many sciences indeed. But all of the we can say the meaning of the parts of the Lucky's speech uh, are negative towards humanity. There is no positive thing in humanity. All of the parts, all of the three parts are what imply a negative implication towards humanity. Okay, so Lucky is going to put forward a philosophical argument for the existence of God. Okay, um, the first part started from this word given. Okay, to this yeah, to this word the academy, okay, of anthropometry, etc. This is the first part. Okay, and then here is this is the first sorry, the first part. Okay, then we have the second part here. Okay, here is the second part. Okay, yeah, and then here we have the third part to the rest of the speech. Okay, so the speech of Lucky signifies that God has abandoned Earth and humanity, and of course this is a very important and dangerous speech. And Samuel Beckett's was very negative and pessimistic towards humanity. So God seems to be careless, anxiety, and indifferent, and loses connection to human beings. Okay, this is the main idea of the first part of the speech. We are going to know that Lucky is given sorry, God, or the personal God of Lucky is given three attributes in which God seems to be careless, unexcited, indifferent, okay, and has no connection to human beings. So, given the existence as uttered forth in the public works of Panchon and Watman, these two philosophers are fictional, not real. Puncher and Whitman. The writer tries to say that Lucky is like a philosopher. Philosophers, when they write essay or books, they, of course, they have to refer to certain philosophers and as a reference, or they use references. Okay, so Lucky is like a philosopher who uses references, but these references are what are fictional, not real. Okay, of a personal God. So he's talking about a personal God. And by personal God, we mean that a God can be seen. Okay? A personal God. Quack, 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 with the white bird. So, quack, 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 outside time without extension, who from the heights of divine apathia, divine athampia, divine aphasia or aphasia. So, you see that the word qua, okay, and since he's talking about a personal God, and the word qua is a Latin word. This word is Latin, Q-U-A. It means being as that. Okay, the word being as that, or it means the function of or capacity of. Okay, and the word qua is always used by philosophers when they have or when they put a philosophical argument. So we say that Lucky is like a philosopher, but he repeats it four times. He never says qua, he says qua, 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 qua. Okay, to sound more absurd and humorous and ridiculous, like a sound of a duck. Okay, so um, this word derived from Latin meaning the function or capacity of. So God, the personal God, has the capacity of. Uh, so this word is commonly addressed in scholarly, arguments, scholar or scholastic argument, educational, scientific argument. But Lucky's repetition of it, qua 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 qua, creates an absurd, ridiculous, derisive sound of a duck to make fun of God, of his personal God. Okay, and like squawking or quacking sound, like the sound of a duck. Okay, then God, the personal God of Lucky, is given three attributes. Okay, is given three attributes. Um, and features outside time without extension, who from the heights of divine apathia. So he says that a personal God. Now the features of this God uh, are not features of a personal God. Why? Because this God is outside time and outside space. So and if his God is personal, he should be limited by time and place. We are, as human beings, since his God is personal, so he's a human being, and the human beings are limited by what? By time, place, and space. But he says that this personal God is outside time, place, and space. So his God is not limited by time, space, and place. Then he is given this personal God is given three attributes, three features, three characteristics, three criteria: apathia, athampia, aphasia. Apathia or apathy is the opposite of the word sympathy or empathy. We have sympathy and empathy, which mean that a person who is sympathetic and kind. So empathy and sympathy are the opposite of the word apathy. So apathy means, okay, a God who is not sympathetic to human beings. So the word sympathy is the opposite or the antonym of the word apathy. So apathia is the opposite of empathy, meaning not feeling with others. Apathia means not feeling with others. So a God doesn't feel what human beings are feeling. So apathy is a lack of feeling, emotion, interest, concern about something. So the person God of Lucky has what? Has no feelings, emotions, and he is disinterested. He's not concerned about his human beings. Okay, it is a state of indifference or the suppression of emotions such as concern, excitement, motivation, or passion. So, an apathetic individual, this God who is apathetic, has an absence of interest and or concern about emotional, social, spiritual, philosophical, virtual, or physical life and the world. So, this God is not sympathetic for human beings or to human beings. This is the first attribute. The second attribute is athampia. And athampia means not excited or not affected or indifferent. Lamubadi. It means that God is indifferent or disinterested, calm, or not excited or affected about the human beings or human sufferings. Okay. The third attribute is aphasia, and I think you should have uh, taken this word in linguistics, okay, of your academic or required book, aphasia. I think in chapter 14. Aphasia is a language disorder, a disease, and in which patients are not able to communicate properly, are not able to use language properly. So, aphasia is a language disorder, a kind of disease in which patients are unable to communicate properly. So, these three attributes, okay, are given to God, are attributed to God. So the God of that Lucky is talking about is outside time and outside place and space. Is not sympathetic toward humanity. Is indifferent, is careless of humanity, and is unable to communicate with human beings. So these are the features of God. And these features are contradictory, are antithetical of the image of God in different religions. So, our God in Islamic religion and the Judaism, Yahudiya, and Christianity, God is not apathetic, is not apathetic, is not uh, aphasiac. Okay, so God doesn't have apathia, thampia, and aphasia. On the opposite, God is sympathetic. Okay, because more of humanity and he is able to communicate with us as a human beings. So these features are contradictory of the image of God in different religions. So this God is quite impersonal, not personal. Because if he is personal, then he should be limited by time and place. So as I said that these images or these attributes or features are contradictory to the image of God in all religions. Okay, Jewish, Islamic, and Christianity. Okay. Uh, what is more about this God loves us dearly with some exceptions for reasons unknown. So this type of God doesn't love all people, loves us dearly with some exceptions. So he loves some people and he hates some people. Why? For reasons unknown. So these two words are going to be repeated many times in the Lucky's speech. But time will tell, and stuff is like the divine Miranda with those who for reasons unknown, but time will tell are blunt, etc., etc., etc. Okay. So this is the first part of Lucky's speech, or parody, or tirade. So you see that again, these two words, raises and none, are repeated, and if you see that, this is a very important implication for reason why this God is indifferent or careless or unable to communicate. Why he loves some people and why he hates some people. And this refers to the idea of salvation and justification in life. Things happen, you know, um, for reasons, and many things happen in life. Okay, many events happen in life, and we don't know the reasons beyond them. So for example, so the idea of justification in life, the idea of salvation in life, are itself arbitrary and unknown. Okay, that is to say, why some people are rich and why some people are poor, why some people are loved and why some people are hated, why some people are saved and why some people are damned. So for reasons unknown. Okay, so this is the first part of Lucky's speech or tirade. Okay, so let's move to the second part. Um, by the Academy of the Anthropometry. So you see that he always, Lucky always repeats, syllables of a word. For academy, he doesn't say academy, he says academy. Okay, anthropometry, he says anthropometry. So academy is also a term used in philosophy and many things. Academy. So it means that as being that of anthropometry, and anthropometry means the science of measurements. So in this part, okay, Lucky is going to talk about the science of measurements. He's speaking about measurements of the modern human beings. Lucky in this part is going to talk or to criticize the physique, the stature, البنية يعني, the physique and the stature of human beings. Human beings are getting shorter and weaker, though they play many sports and take many medicines. But they never get stronger and longer, but they get shorter and weaker. So this is another criticism of human beings. As I said, that these all of these parts, three parts of Lucky's speech, have or imply or signify a negative implication toward humanity or modern human beings. So, um, anthropometry of Essie and Parsi of Testo and Connor. Also, these two names are fictional, not real. They do not exist, just from the imagination of the writer. It is established beyond all other doubt, than that which clings to the labors of man, that as a result of the labors unfinished of Testo and Connor, established as hereinafter, but not so fast for reasons unknown. Also, for reasons unknown, um, that is a result of public works of Puncher and Watman. So these are also fictional character, not real. It is established beyond all doubt that, in view of the labors of Fartov and Pulcher left unfinished for reasons unknown, of Testo and Kern left unfinished, etc., etc., etc. So, man in short, man in brief. So, modern human being, okay, modern man, brief. It means that weak and short, in spite of the strides of alimentation of and defection, waste and pines, waste and pines, and concurrently, simultaneously, it is more for reasons unknown. In spite of, you see that he repeats the same words of the strides of physical culture, the practice of sports. So man is getting shorter and briefer, shorter and weaker, despite what? Sports, such as tennis, running, cycling, swimming, flying, floating, riding, gliding, canoeing, gamoji, skating, tennis of all kinds, dying, flying, sports of all sorts, autumn, summer, winter, tennis. You see, So he is saying that the modern human beings are dwindling, shrinking. Okay, يعني يتغمص ينكمش. um, getting smaller and shorter and weaker. So when he speaks about modern man, he mentions the word brief, okay, and also the word short and weak, okay, and defection and defected, okay. Um, so human beings are getting no strength, okay, or length. Instead, are getting shortened and weakened. Despite of the sports of the human beings, as I mentioned, this he mentions these kinds of sports: running, swimming, playing, etc. Dank flying sports of all sorts: autumn, summer, winter, winter. You see that he mentions autumn, autumn, summer, winter. So we expect spring, but he never continues the cycle of the season of the year. Of all kind of hockey, all of all sorts, penicillin and succedaneum. So he also gives us another reason that make human beings dwindling, getting briefer and shorter because of the modern, medicine. Okay, so the modern medicine and the modern sport are expect or they are expected to make modern human beings, stronger and taller. However, these make modern human being briefer, shorter, and weaker. So the sports and medicine, the modern sport, the modern medicine, are result in opposite results. Okay, or lead to opposite results. They never make man stronger and longer. Okay, so this is the main argument in part two. Okay, that modern human beings got these attributes, despite two things that are supposed to make them stronger and taller. These things are the modern physical culture that are represented by the invention of sports. So these sports are supposed to make man stronger, but in spite of that, modern man is getting weaker and dwindling and briefer. The second one is the invention of modern medicine, such as penicillin and succedaneum. And these are kinds of drugs that make man weaker and shorter. Okay. Um, for reasons unknown, this also he also repeats these two words. Um, Bishop Berkeley. So here is the only here are or here is the only real name of a philosopher, Bishop Berkeley. Bishop Berkeley is a philosopher who's an Irish British philosopher. Okay, this is concerns with the philosophy of materialism. He believes in things. He believes in the idea that material things never exist. They are just perceived in our mind. Okay, so this is his philosophy is similar to the things that are mentioned in the part two. Okay, this is the second part. The third part, the final part, is about the environment, the earth and the environment of yeah um, in the plains, in the mountains, by the sea, by the rivers, running water, ring fire, the air is the same, and then the earth, namely the air, and then the earth is and the great cold. You see that he repeats the same words over and over. Great cold, great dark, the air and earth, abode of stones, and the great cold. Alas, alas, in the air of their low 600 or something, the air, earth, the sea, the earth, abode of stones, and the great deeps, and the great cold on sea, on land, and in the air, are assumed for reason unknown, in spite of the tense, the fact that there are but times will tell. I resume, alas, alas, etc., etc., etc. So, in this part, Lucky is speaking about the earth and environment. So, the pictures he gives to us in this part is not different from the pictures given in part one and part two. That is to say, are also negative. They do not connotate or imply any positive or advantages or benefit for humanity. No. So all of the parts are criticism of human beings. Okay. So he is giving us pictures of environment, and our planet is what is cold, dark, stones. So all of these pictures, words imply death. Okay, so we live, our environment, our planet, our world is dark, bleak, black, and gloomy. So these images are not of life, but of death. And so he refers to the idea that uh, our life has no life indeed. Okay, so the things uh, that are available in our world, in our life environment, are things of death, not of life, and this refers to the suffering of human beings. Okay, so he mentions the word cold, which is a symbol of death, the word dark, the word cold, the word stones. You see that? So all of these words are a symbolism of death. Okay, so to conclude, as I said, that critics have divided Lucky's speech or parody or tirade into three parts. So the first one is a philosophical argument about the existence of a personal God who is given certain attributes, Lihia, Apathia, Athampia, and Aphasia. Okay, and he's beyond time and place and space. And then the second part is about the modern human beings who get smaller and dwing and shorter, who are briefer and weaker. Okay, and because of the modern sport culture, physical culture like sport, and the invention of medicine. Then the third part is about the earth and environment. So this and the third part has a negative images about the world and environment, okay, such as the world, our world is a world of death, not of life, because of um, because our world is being dark, gloomy, black, bleak, and etc. Okay, so this is a very important video. You have to watch it all and make note of the things that I have been commenting on. Okay, thank you for watching.